Hey guys! Welcome back to another video, and welcome if you're new here. You might be wondering what kind of tricks I'll be sharing today. So to give you guys a brief explanation, after the release of 3.0 Notion update, there's a new formula called style. And I realized that there aren't many tutorials on how to incorporate this in the workspace. So I thought I would give you guys 3 ideas on how you can utilize this in Notion. First, I'll show you how to cross out the database item to create a bucket list. Then I'll walk you through how to create the D-Day counter in Notion that changes color depending on its proximity to the due date. Last but not least, we'll create a study flashcard with a twist using Star. Without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so for this tutorial, you need Notion 3.0. You can download it using the link provided below or on my website. I also have a selection of pre-made templates available for purchase, so make sure to check them out, and it will really support me in my mission of taking Notion to the next level. Note that we'll be using formula quite often throughout the video. I'll be explaining what it does and its intended functionality, but I won't be delving into their mechanics. That explanation will be up on my blog, as well as the written tutorial and the code block that you can simply copy and paste. Okay, let's begin with our first tutorial. Before we dive in, keep in mind that I'll be using the timeline view as a mind map rather than Gantt chart, ignoring the time frame. To begin, create a new inline database, and I'm gonna title it Yearly Overview, and hide the database title. Then create a new timeline view. Go back to the table view, and delete all the database entries. Delete the tag property, and delete the date property for now. We are gonna add 3 more properties. The first property is gonna be a text property, and we're gonna call it goal. Then we're gonna add a checkbox property and name it done. Finally, we're adding a formula property and calling it a crossout. I am just readjusting the size of the field to make it look nicer. Now we're gonna add in a formula for crossout. Click edit property, then click formula edit. This opens up a box for you to add in your formula. So type in the formula below. The formula first checks if the done, the checkbox property is marked. If that is true, it strikes through the text in the goal property. If that is false, it leaves the text as it is. Now click done once you're done typing in your formula. Go to the timeline view and create a new card by clicking anywhere within the timeline. We're gonna leave the title blank, so enter a space. Now open up the card and hide all properties except for goal and done. Now type in your goal. For me, I'm gonna say post every week because I wanna be consistent with posting. Once you're done, close the page, and now you created your first goal entry. Click on 3 dot next on the top right corner, click properties, and make sure that only crossout and done is shown on the card. Now you're all set, and you can test it out by clicking on the checkbox. Now click on the 3 dots again and click dependency, choose the first option and click turn on dependency. Create a new card entry in the database, again a space for name, open it up and hide all properties except for done and goal. Fill in your goal again. Close the page. As the dependency is enabled, you'll notice a yellow arrow which you can drag to connect to a different card. Now you can create as many cards and connections as you like, and we are all done. Okay, so moving on to our second tutorial, the first thing you want to do is open up a new page or go to your existing page and create a new inline database. I'm gonna name it D-Day counter and hide the database title as usual. Now once that's done, click on 3 dots, layout, and choose gallery, set card preview to none and set card size to small. Now delete the default entries except for one, open up the remaining entry as a page, and type in your event name. I'm just gonna say it's my birthday. Delete the tag property, and you're gonna add 3 new properties now. Create a date property and name it date. I'm just gonna set a random date for now and create a formula property, and I'm gonna call it calculate date. Click on the calculate date and type in the following below. This formula calculates the date in between the current date and the date of the event. Click done once you're done. Create a new formula property, and I'm gonna name it display. We're gonna add a formula for display now, so you can type in the formula below. The formula is quite long, but the way it works is quite straightforward. First, we're creating a variable called day and storing the value of calculate date not as a number but as a string, which is equivalent of text. Then we are using an if statement that incorporates multiple conditions such that if the date of the event has passed, it will show the number of days passed and the message in red. If it is a D-Day, it will show a message D-Day in purple. If there are days remaining, it will show a message and the day remaining in green. Once you're done, click done and you can change the date in the date property and see if it works as intended. If you want to include the end date in the duration calculation, simply add +1 in calculate date. Now close the page, click on the three dots on the top right corner, click property, and hide all properties except for display. And now you're all set and feel free to create as many events as you like. Okay, this is gonna be our last tutorial, the flashcard. So start by creating a new inline database. I'm gonna call it study flashcard and hide the database title. Then I'm gonna rename the view. I'm gonna call it flashcard, but you can name it however you like. Then rename the title property name to note. We're gonna delete the tag property and we're going to add 5 new properties. First, I'm creating a text property and call it input. Then I'm creating a checkbox property and I'm just calling it checkbox. Now I'm creating another text property and I'm gonna call it English, but instead of English, call it your first language. Now I'm creating another text property and I'm gonna call it German, but instead of German, you can name it the second language you're studying. Lastly, create a new formula property named flashcard. Right now, I'm just rearranging the property field to make it look nicer. We're going to add in the flashcard formula. I'll start by recreating a simple flashcard system where after entering your answer in input, you can rebuild the translation by checking the checkbox. Now, instead of just rebuilding the answer, we're going to add an if statement so that when the box is checked, it will display the translation and the color code of the correctness of your input. So the way it works is that it first checks if the input box is empty. If so, it will just display the text as it is. Then, it checks whether the answer matches the translation. If it does, text will be displayed in green. If neither of these conditions are met, the only possibility is that the answer in the input box doesn't match the translation. So, in that case, the translation will be displayed in red. We have our system set up, so all you need to do is create your flashcard by typing a word in the native language and the translation in the respective field. Enter your input, click on the checkbox, and verify if everything is functioning correctly. Feel free to add more entries in your database. Next, we'll create a new view. This is going to be another table view. And I'm gonna call it test, you can name it however you like, and in this view, hide the translation, in my case the German translation. This will allow you to test your knowledge of the word, like I'm doing right now. And we're all set! If you prefer a pre-made version, it is in the link in the description. It also has an additional spaced repetition feature, where the revision schedule will automatically adjust and reappear every 1st, 4th, 7th, and 14th day. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions or feedbacks, let me know in the comment down below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and set the notification button below. Bye guys!